Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
So I just finished The Mandalorian Season 3, and this so easily could have been an amazing season. Not that much needed to be changed. And yet it sucked.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost.
Real quick, I want to do like a little thing first explaining like my review process. I like to do stuff chronologically, and like I'm nowhere near getting to the Mandalorian series, but the Mandalorian Season 3 just ended, and if I wait till I get to that point, no one's going to watch this review, but releasing it now, people would watch this review, so I'm releasing this review now instead of 7 years from now when I finally get around to that point in the chronological timeline of Star Wars. So, kind of keep that in mind. I procrastinate a lot. So, this is a show I really enjoy. Season 1, I absolutely loved. I thought Season 1 was really cool. Season 2 had some issues, but like overall I thought Season 2 was really awesome. And so like Mandalorian was kind of one of those shows where it's like, okay, Star Wars can have The Last Jedi, they can have Obi-Wan Kenobi, they can have Book of Boba Fett, but I still have Mandalorian to fall back on for, you know, decent quality Star Wars content. And it kind of feels like the people that were in charge of those projects got their grimy hands on this one, because there was just so many familiar mistakes that I saw with Star Wars Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And like one of the big issues I had with this season is, if you look at like Season 1 of The Mandalorian, there's an overall narrative of, okay, who is this child? Why does the Empire want him? We need to go on the run. And so while there were the little individual stories of the week type thing with Season 1, there was that overall like narrative structure of like, who is this child? Why does the Empire want him? And then with Season 2, the new overarching narrative was, you have to find this child's people, the Jedi, and return him to them. That was like the overall season goal. But with Season 3 of Mandalorian, there's not really an overall goal. Like, initially, I thought it was, okay, Din Djarin has to get to the waters of Mandalore to redeem himself so he can be a Mandalorian again. They resolved that in 2 episodes. And so after that, it's like, okay, so what's the overarching narrative then? And it's nothing until the last 2 episodes when they go to reclaim Mandalore. And it's like, okay, maybe that should have been the overarching narrative and have most of the series about them trying to recapture Mandalore, because the last 2 episodes, they crammed so much content into the last 2 episodes that you could have easily stretched that out into a season and not have pacing issues. Okay? You easily could have still had a very well paced series. That's how cram-packed the last 2 episodes are, because it's like, oh shit, we wasted most of the season on bullshit, and so we have to get everything done in 2 half-hour episodes. That's another huge infuriating thing with this season, is apart from the shittiest episode in the season that no one liked, that was 45 minutes, but every other episode that involved, you know, characters we actually wanted to watch and actual scenes of something happening, they're like 30 minutes long. If you're lucky, 35 minutes. Even the season finale was like 35 minutes long. These are pathetically short episodes. And the one episode that sucks ass to high hell, episode 4, is 45 minutes long. And it feels like 2 freaking hours of just nothing. And like, easily, they could have cut that episode. They could have cut... Hell, they could have cut most of the middle episodes, and they could have had a different narrative structure and turned this into a really badass movie. But no, they didn't. They didn't really know what the hell they were doing. And, like, I mean, sure, the episode of them trying to figure out why these robots are malfunctioning, it's like the third to the last episode. That could have worked. But so much of the time was wasted. That felt like an episode that should have been episode 3 at the beginning of the season. Like, kind of the throwaway story of the week episode. Not the one of the last episodes. It just felt so weird. And, like, on that subject, there were some weird-ass celebrity cameos in this season. Like, seriously. At one point, I thought I was watching Adam West's Batman. Because, like, that show had unapologetic celebrity cameos up the yin-yang. But that was, like, in the 60s, when every show kind of did that. But with The Mandalorian, they are just so out of place. They just rip you out of the experience. Even, like, Jack Black, he gets a cameo, and even with him, it's like, okay... Look, I know he probably couldn't have gotten, like, a Jedi role, and I know, you know, it's Jack Black, but come on, we could have found a better character for Jack Black than this. I mean, good gosh, just absolutely no effort. Now, on a positive side, I will point out that one cameo I was pleasantly surprised by is they got the actor, not the character, who played Jar Jar Binks. He gotta be a Jedi in this real quick. And he gotta, you know, be kind of a badass. And it's like, okay, that's kind of neat, because if you know the story behind this guy, like, apparently he was a huge Star Wars fan, and he felt like he betrayed everyone after the fan mess with Jar Jar Binks. He felt like he personally destroyed the brand. And so it's kind of neat. He got to come back, play a badass Jedi, no Misa, whatever. And it's like, okay, he could actually, like, at this point, my last project did not end on a complete catastrophe, so I should just walk away now. So, like, I kind of thought that was neat, that he got a chance to, like, I don't want to say redeem himself, but got a chance to, like, in the eyes of the fans, redeem himself. So, I thought that was neat. But, like, another issue I have with this was the dialogue writing. Like, there were some truly awful lines in this show, and I know there are some Star Wars fans that go, well, Star Wars has never had good writing, they've always had bad dialogue. And I have to disagree. There are some moments in the entire series, the dialogue is pretty spectacular, and even in the previous seasons of Mandalorian, there's some really great moments of dialogue and character acting. But with this, like, pardon me, I'm not trying to offend, but Giovanni Esposito, the guy who was in Breaking Bad and who's the main bad guy for Far Cry 6, and the guy who played Moff Gideon, I cannot pronounce his name to save my life. He's an excellent actor. He's had some truly spectacular performances in his career, and even he had some truly awful lines. It's just like, okay, dude, what the hell's going on? I know that guy can act, but what the hell did you do to this script? I mean, just, there were some really cringy moments of, not even like lame assery, although there were, but like just of the dialogue. It's like, I could have shit better dialogue out than that without even trying. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I feel like this show was made by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in name only, because, like, I've seen their peak work, which is The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, and this does not feel like it was made by them. This feels like it was made by Kathleen Kennedy. That's how bad it is. And so, and it doesn't end there. Like Baby Yoda, in the previous seasons, I was all for Baby Yoda. I know his name's Groku and now Din Groku, but it's Baby Yoda, okay? I mean, like, I loved him in previous seasons, and even in previous seasons, when he does use the Force, it's like, okay, it kind of works, but in this, apart from, like, one scene in the last episode, every time Baby Yoda uses the Force, it looks like complete dog shit, especially this stupid flip jump that he just spams nonstop, and it just looks like ass. And the sad thing is, a lot of it looks like it's practically done. It's like, dude, you are making a practical effect look like dog shit when it shouldn't be the case. And so, like, honestly, I kind of got sick and tired of Baby Yoda in this season, because, like, all there was for Baby Yoda was to spam this stupid Force move of him doing like a triple flip back and forth, back and forth. It looks so stupid. And then, of course, this season has the same major problem that Obi-Wan Kenobi had. They promised me one thing and they gave me something else, okay? They promised me a steak with Din Djarin and Baby Yoda, and they gave me a bacon cheeseburger with chili fries with Bo-Katan. Look, I like Bo-Katan. I think that Katie Sackhoff does a great job with her. I like her character. I feel that Bo-Katan is one of the rare few instances of a major Hollywood studio making a actual likable, strong female character. I would watch, I would jam, I would kill a season entirely focused on her. The problem is that instead of saying, hey guys, we're going to make a Bo-Katan spin-off series, it's like, okay, they just decided to make her the star of The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, I know some people will say, well, it's The Mandalorian, she's a Mandalorian, so it still counts. Okay, no. The issue here isn't that I don't think she's a Mandalorian. She is a Mandalorian. The issue here is all the trailers, all the posters, all the marketing promised me Din Djarin and Baby Yoda. That was all the advertising was really showing me. And it's like, okay, I came in expecting to, you know, naively I was expecting to see freaking Pedro Pascal and his little Baby Yoda going on adventures together. But no, the star of this season is Bo-Katan. Now, if you were to tell me, guys, we're doing a spin-off focusing on Bo-Katan and her reclaiming the Darksaber and her fight against Moff Gideon, and she's going to have Din Djarin as a sidekick in the season, I think no one would have scoffed at that. I think everyone would have been like, cool. Everyone would have been like, oh, okay, so this isn't Mandalorian Season 3. This is like Bo-Katan, the Book of Bo-Katan, or the Mandalorian Bo-Katan, and I think this season would have gone over much better with people. But instead, it's like comparing it with Season 1 and 2, it doesn't quite hold the same as those two seasons. But if this was just to be like a Bo-Katan focused series that happened to have Din Djarin as a side character, then I think most people would have absolutely loved this season. The problem is, Disney keeps fucking doing this. They keep telling us that we're going to get a Ferrari, and they give us a Lamborghini, okay? Or vice versa. It's like, there's nothing wrong with a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, but give us what you fucking promise us, okay? In Obi-Wan Kenobi, we were all expecting Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi. Instead, you give us a show entirely focused on Reva. And if you had just told us from the beginning that we were getting a show about Reva, we probably would not have scoffed at all, and we would have been like, okay, that sounds like an interesting premise. Disney needs to freaking stop doing this. It is so obnoxious, it is so annoying. Is the Ahsoka show going to actually be about Ahsoka, or is it going to be about, you know, Ray Stevenson's character? I don't know. At this point, I have to assume it's not going to be about Ahsoka, since her name's on the fucking marquee title, because Obi-Wan Kenobi was not about Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can make an argument for Mandalorian still being about Mandalorian, but everyone was expecting the Mandalorian to be about Din Djarin. Okay? And so is Ahsoka going to be about Ahsoka? I have no idea, and I don't know, and I doubt it probably. And, like, They could have even made this work. They could have made the heavier focus on Bo-Katan work with a scene at the end. Minor spoiler. It's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but at the end of the season, Din Djarin decides to adopt Baby Yoda officially so that he can become his apprentice. And the armorer says, in order for him to be your apprentice, for you to give permission, you have to adopt him. They could have easily had said, in order for you to adopt him, you need to find another to help co-sponsor this child with you, and Bo-Katan could have come up and it's like, I will co-sponsor. It's like, okay, you two have to go and train baby Grogu now. Voila, there you go. Now, next thing, it's like, okay, The Mandalorian is about Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. They are a unit with Baby Yoda, and they are now a 3-person crew. You could have easily done that, and everyone would have been like, oh, okay, so that's why she was such a heavy focus, because she is now one of the 3. But no, they edited it with Din Djarin and Baby Yoda going off, and they're now going to do adventures by themselves without Bo-Katan. So it's like, now, this show could have worked if the entire narrative structure was on them retaking Mandalore, and they could have stretched it out to a couple of episodes. And I love the world building with the Mandalorians. I love a lot of the little tiny moments, like the scene where they are leading a raid to, reclaim one of their younglings, and they all go off to eat separately because they can't see each other's faces, and like the one big asshole stops Bo-Katan. It's like, no, the leader of the hunt always gets to eat by the fire. And it's like, okay, that's a cool little piece of world building. And stuff like that is what kind of kept me coming back week to week, because I love the evolution of the world of the Mandalorian. And I liked when, the show was focusing on Mandalorians and not former Imperial soldiers that are trying to reacclimate into life. What the fuck was that episode about? I mean, like, holy shit, that episode was so infuriating. It, like, Kai Pearson, you've been doing some really awesome fan edits. If you do Mandalorian Season 3, get rid of that shit! It was useless! Alright, get rid of it and give us the season we deserve. So anyway, I had some fun with this, but this was out of a different league from Season 1 and 2. This was not as good as Season 1 and 2, and honestly, this was very mediocre. It could have been great, it could have been amazing, but yeah, this was just so disappointing. And so, yeah, I mean, will I see Season 4 Mandalorian? It depends. If it looks like he's going to be the main focal point, and he actually is the main focal point with Baby Yoda, then maybe. But if they decide to do a switcheroo with some other character, and, like, I don't know, I'm getting so freaking tired of that bullshit happening with stuff advertised to me, okay? Don't advertise a Halo TV show and advertise Master Chief, and he turns out not to be the main character. I don't want that shit. Alright? Give me what you are advertising. So, anyway, that's been my review of Mandalorian Season 3. My name's Christopher Connell with 11 Hour Views, and that will be all for today.